Okay, let's unpack this. We are diving into the career of Kentrell Deshaun Gaulden, better known as NBA YoungBoy.
Right. And his story, it really seems to defy, well, almost all conventional logic in music.
Totally. He's this rapper with just staggering commercial dominance.
Mhm.
But at the same time, he's constantly tangled up in, legal struggles, surveillance. It's nonstop.
That's the word for it, duality. It's really extreme with YoungBoy. You've got this unmatched output. Think about charting 100 singles, running right alongside this relentless cycle of street conflict and legal drama. It's actively shaped his whole public life.
So our mission today is really to cut through all that noise, look at the source material you pulled together, and figure out how that incredibly turbulent life became the main fuel for his music.
His massive, hyper-consistent musical output.
Exactly. And just to set the stage, the immediate shock factor here.
Mm-hmm.
Since 2015, YoungBoy's dropped over 26 projects.
26. That's nearly 3 a year.
And think about this. He did that while spending huge chunks of time either locked up or stuck under house arrest.
It's an output rate that, honestly, most artists with total freedom couldn't even dream of touching.
So true.
But to really get that drive, that relentlessness, you've got to go back to Baton Rouge, Louisiana, where it all started.
Yeah, exactly. The origin story is, well, it's rooted in some serious hardship.
Mm-hmm.
Gaulden's early life, it was marked by poverty. His father got sentenced to 55 years in prison.
55 years. Wow.
Yeah. And he ended up being raised mostly by his grandmother. It wasn't just a tough background. It was defined by, immediate and severe scarcity from the jump.
And that hardship, it left actual physical scars, too. The source mentioned he broke his neck as a toddler.
Wrestling, yeah.
Yeah, wrestling. Needed a head brace. And it left these permanent scars on his forehead. You see them.
Right. They're visible reminders of that early pain, that struggle.
Yeah.
And you hear about them in his lyrics sometimes, like proof he endured it.
For sure. But the real turning point for his career, where the conflict in his life really started feeding the art, that came after he dropped out of 9th grade.
Okay.
He got arrested for robbery. He was only about 14 or 15. And that landed him in juvenile detention in Tallulah for 6 months, a crucial 6 months.
Wait, so the detention center itself, that's where he actually started writing the music that launched everything?
Yeah, that's what the sources suggest. It's not the usual backstory, is it?
Not at all. It kind of confirms the legal system wasn't just like an obstacle for him. Ironically, it was the moment that artistic drive really clicked into place.
It was pivotal. Once he got out, he moved fast, put out his first mixtape, Life Before Fame. He was still just 15.
15. Incredible.
But here's the catch. The sources say he immediately went back to illegal activities.
Just to pay for studio time.
Yeah, just to afford to record. That initial dynamic crime funding creation, it really set the tone for everything that followed.
And that foundation, that hardship, it really sets up the next part.
Yeah.
The sheer volume of music.
Yeah, exactly. Now we pivot from the trauma to the triumph on the charts.
His work ethic isn't just strategic. People in the industry talk about it all the time. Phrases like rapid-fire pace.
Calling him one of the hardest working rappers.
But the sources you found give us his own take on it, and it's much darker. How does he explain being so incredibly consistent?
He actually calls it a disease.
A disease.
Yeah. In an interview from 2023, he said releasing music constantly is compulsive for him. He noted, the music is therapy, but I can't stop it when I want. Wow. And the lifestyle is just a big distraction from your real purpose. It's a really important insight. The music isn't just product for him. It's like a coping mechanism he needs, even if he sees it taking over his life.
And the industry definitely saw that power early on. By 2017, he had major singles hitting the Billboard Hot 100. And that's when he signed that big deal with Atlantic Records and artist partner group 5 albums, supposedly worth around $2 million. That really set the stage for the commercial dominance we saw next.
And the chart stats that came out of that are just mind-blowing. They really make you rethink what success even means in the streaming era. Let's look at these numbers.
Lay them on us.
Okay, first, YoungBoy is the youngest artist in Billboard history to chart 100 singles on the Hot 100.
100 singles. That's just pure saturation. It says so much about how dedicated, almost rabid, his fan base is.
It's more than just breaking a record, though. It fundamentally changes how labels might think about releasing music track volume versus waiting for a big album drop.
Right. He proved constant saturation works. He doesn't wait for the market. he is the market.
Exactly. And on top of that, he's the rapper with the most RIAA platinum certified albums between 2015 and 2025.
Most platinum albums in a decade.
And overall, he has charted 34 different projects on the Billboard 200 chart. That's the highest number of charted albums for any rapper ever.
34 projects hitting the main chart. That kind of constant presence, that's what drives the business side. But the place he truly dominated was online viewership, right?
Oh, absolutely. He is the undisputed king of raw digital consumption. By 2019, get this, he was YouTube's most watched musician. Not rapper, musician. Across all genres.
For how long?
For 101 weeks straight. Racked up 15 billion views by then.
15 billion.
It just highlights how his success often operates outside traditional radio or industry control. His power is directly with that core fan base online. They bypass all the usual channels.
That level of success, completely unfettered, just makes the next part of his story even harder to process. How can someone that successful commercially be so constantly under the microscope of the legal system? Let's pivot now to that other side, like the relentless cycle of legal problems and surveillance that ran right alongside those chart wins.
Yeah, it started early, and you could argue it was the system's way of keeping tabs, maintaining a grip. Back in 2016, he faced an attempted murder charge.
Okay.
It eventually got pleaded down to aggravated assault with a firearm, but the sentence was key. A 10-year suspended prison term and 3 years of active probation.
So that probation was basically like a ticking clock hanging over him.
Exactly. It could be triggered by anything.
And it was 2019, right? The Miami shooting incident.
That's the one. His girlfriend was injured, a bystander was tragically killed, even though the shooting charges against YoungBoy himself were eventually dismissed.
The probation violation stuck.
It stuck, and that led to 90 days in jail, a 14-month ban on performing, and then house arrest with an ankle monitor. The system just doesn't let go easily.
It never stops. Then September 2020, arrested again in Baton Rouge. Federal charges this time, firearms, drugs.
That eventually led to that high-profile arrest by federal agents out in L.A. in March 2021.
And this is where that duality we keep talking about hits this bizarre peak. While he was locked up, waiting for trial on those federal charges, his 2021 album, Sincerely Contrail.
It debuts at #1 on the Billboard 200.
#1. From jail.
It's historically huge. He became only the third artist ever to do that after Tupac Shakur and Lil Wayne.
Wow. Tupac and Wayne, that's legendary company.
It's just a massive testament to his fan base's loyalty. They didn't just support him, they made a huge public statement with their streams and sales while he was literally incarcerated.
So, after he gets released on bond in late 2021, he gets put on house arrest and moves his whole life to Utah.
Yeah, completely relocated to Utah. That became his base under heavy surveillance for about 3 years. But even being isolated out there, the cycle still found him.
The 2024 arrest in Utah.
Yep, a jarring reminder. Arrested for drug and fraud charges, allegations of running a prescription fraud ring using fake IDs. Reports said it was to fuel a codeine addiction.
Man. But thankfully, this long, tangled legal saga finally started seeing some resolution over the past few years. Walk us through how those federal cases ended up.
Okay, so the first one, the California federal firearm case in 2022, he actually got a win there. Found not guilty.
On what grounds?
Lack of evidence directly linking him to intentionally possessing the guns they found. But then later, he took a plea deal in the other case, the Baton Rouge federal firearm case.
Okay, what was the outcome there?
That led to a sentence of 23 months in prison, followed by 60 months, 5 years of probation.
So he served that time, got released in April 2025, went to a halfway house in Arizona for a bit, and then started probation.
Correct. And this is where the story takes that final, really unexpected political turn. It basically closes this chapter of constant surveillance.
Pardon?
The presidential pardon, yeah. Almost 2 months after his release, May 2025, Donald Trump grants him a presidential pardon.
Just like that.
Just like that. After years of legal battles, that single action effectively wiped the slate clean on those long-standing federal charges that had always been hanging over him. The legal threat, at least from that angle, is suddenly gone.
It's a really stunning end to that whole saga. Okay, so now let's look at the final piece here. The art itself, the conflicts surrounding him, and the personal shifts happening under all that pressure.
Well, his music comes directly from that lived experience. That's why people consistently describe it as raw, unfiltered, brutally honest.
Right. The music is very clearly his way of processing things, narrating the chaos he feels trapped in. It's self-therapy put on record.
Definitely. And while you can hear the influence of Southern hip-hop giants like Lil Wayne, Juvenile.
He even flipped Wayne's "Thought Block is Hot" for Diamond Teeth Samurai, right?
Exactly. Clear homages there. But he doesn't just stick to that sound. He's not afraid to branch out.
Yeah, he experiments quite a bit.
Absolutely. He delves into genres like pop rock, even those more aggressive, distorted rage sounds we heard a lot on his 2023 album, I Rest My Case.
It shows he can channel those intense emotions into different kinds of sounds, keeps the output from getting stale, even though there's so much of it.
Right. And his public image is just deeply intertwined with conflict. You see it in the ongoing street war stuff, like with TBG back in the day.
And the big industry feuds, too. Lil Durk, King Von, even media guys like Joe Budden and Charlemagne that have gotten drawn in.
The music isn't just telling stories about conflict. Sometimes it is the conflict.
Like that track, I Hate YoungBoy.
Perfect example. It's basically a declaration of war aimed at several people, including Lil Durk and Gucci Mane. The music itself becomes the battleground for these beefs that have defined a lot of his career.
Yet, amidst all that, you see this incredible personal and almost spiritual transformation happening, especially during that Utah house arrest period. It's kind of wild.
It really is. He settles down, marries Jaslyn Michelle Hayes in 2023.
While also being the confirmed father of, what, 10 kids?
10 confirmed children with 8 different women. So you have that complexity.
And the spiritual journey is just as complex.
Totally contradictory, almost. He'd previously talked about converting to Islam, but then while he's in Utah under house arrest, he starts talking publicly about wanting to be baptized into the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints.
Mormonism. After moving to Utah and buying a home he called Grave Digger Mountain.
Yeah. Moving there, naming his house that, and then exploring Mormon baptism, that level of internal contradiction is just...
Well, it's fascinating to observe. It really provides this stark counterpoint to the street narrative in his music. And speaking of counterpoints, there's his philanthropy. He gives back quite a bit to Baton Rouge.
Yes, that's crucial context. We see multiple examples. Donating cash, like $20 K chunks, organizing back-to-school drives every year.
Partnering with the NAACP for turkey donations.
Right, 500 turkeys. And even recently donating $50,000 to anti-crime groups in Dallas right before his 2025 tour kicked off.
That philanthropy is important, right? It balances the image.
Absolutely. It shows that even though the life depicted in the music is full of chaos and violence, there's also this clear, active effort to channel resources back, maybe to help others avoid that same path. It offsets the conflict generator image with the community benefactor one.
So wrapping this all up,
Yeah.
What does this mean for you listening? What's the main takeaway from this incredibly dense, complex life and career?
I think it means that YoungBoy Never Broke Again is someone you really need to understand if you want to grasp modern cultural power, precisely because his success is built right on top of all that documented struggle. His genius, if you want to call it that, lies in finding a way to monetize and narrate the chaos he was born into. He's maintained this extraordinary commercial success, even while the legal system was constantly trying to shut him down.
So understanding him helps understand the industry now.
Definitely. You can't really get the current music industry power structure, especially how YouTube dominance works, how major labels navigate artists like him without looking at how he achieved his success. And it gives insight into the reality of the street life he portrays.
And as we close out this deep dive, there's this huge question hanging over everything now, especially with that presidential pardon seemingly breaking the legal cycle.
Right.
YoungBoy himself said the turmoil, the legal battles, were the source of his raw therapeutic art. He called that lifestyle a disease that fueled the music.
The core tension.
So with the legal system maybe not breathing down his neck in the same way, with the pardon clearing those federal issues, what happens to the music when the disease, that constant high conflict fuel, is finally removed or at least lessened?
That's the big unknown, isn't it?
Yeah. It's a question that really only time and his future music can answer for us.